Ciao. I'm Jason Gilbo, Jake Gilbo 11. With me is Russell Clay at Russell J. Clay. Taking a look at another 7-game slate here on Thursday. And good thing about FanDuel, I mean, it seems like you can just kind of plug in Wainwright and go from there in cash games. And then GPPs, you've got some dive down options if you want to kind of load up on bats.
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's either one or the other, and I think you can even fit some really strong bats into Wainwright lineups. So, lots of bad pitching again. So I think we're gonna have a fun, high scoring night again.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with this 7-game slate. I mean, kind of a lot to offer. I mean, for such a small amount of games, it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Marlins and Phillies, first one here, Drought Ike offers Tom Kohler. Price is a little bit more easier to accommodate, more so on the Marlins side of things here. You got the package of outfielders, Yelich, Stanton, and Ozuna, all for $35K or under. Ike also been fairly tough on right-handers. I mean, going back to last year, 270 WOBA allowed. Doesn't allow a ton of home runs. Lefty's a little bit better. So I think for me, I'd probably feel more comfortable with Yelich, if anything, here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't mind the prices of Stanton and Ozuna, but at the same time, I think Yelich is the play here, and I'm not really totally in on the Marlins tonight. So Yelich and bounce, I think, is sort of the plan here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I might work in 1 or 2 stands if he kind of fits that piece, just because, the upside's a lot higher. But for me, not really a cash game guy, even at the depreciated price tag.
Right.
As far as the Phillies go, I would look at the lefties against Kohler have had some success this year, but I can't get behind a lot of these prices. I mean, I kind of like the A's who are at similar prices in comparison to like guys like Franco or the outfielders, and Herrera's kind of price is a little bit higher than I like.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough to pay 39 for Herrera, even though he probably is worth it. I think it's not a bad lineup, but I'm just not in compared to a lot of the other options we have.
Yeah, I mean, you got the White Sox who are kind of at equal price tags. You got the A's who are at equal price tags, and you even got some other bats. Like the Pirates who are kind of just a little bit of shade above.
Yeah, so it's not that I'm not in; it's just that I'm not in. Sorry, Phillies, not in.
There's better teams in better spots with same or similar price tags.
Right.
Brewers Pirates, next one here. You got Matt Garza versus Francisco Liriano. I'm not really in love with the Brewers here. I think the prices are a little bit higher for me than I like. Villar at 4-1, Braun 4-3, Lucroy 4K. That's a little tough for me. Obviously, GPPs, I don't mind them, but still, I just points per dollar value. I'm not really completely on them at those prices.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is very expensive. There is home run upside there, but at the same time, it's tough to pay up for those with Coors and a nice Red Sox projected run total there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got Betts, who's cheaper than Braun by about 400. You got Blackman, who's the same price. So there's a lot of other options. I feel comfortable going at in a better ballpark against a better pitcher.
Yeah, and it is in play from a contrarian sense, and 7 games, it is a conceivable option and swerve, but at the same time, that's not a cash lineup or even a first few tournament lineups. That's kind of deeper,
Yeah, I definitely agree. And on the Pirates side, I mean, I like the outfielding prices. I like Kutchin at 3-3. I like Marte at 3-6, and even Polanco, I don't hate at 4K. I mean, you look at Garza. Going back to last year, has struggled against both sides of the plate, has struggled with homers, has struggled on the road. So for me, I don't mind him. And kind of the same thing with DK. I don't mind those secondary pieces, guys like Freeze, Cervelli, Harrison. I do think with the team projected over 5 runs, even with the recent struggles, you can kind of maybe go a little bit deeper for value.
Yeah, I think that's a fine group to go at with Garza on the hill. Decent values. Anytime there's a grouping, a team that's projected for 5 runs, and there's a bunch of end of lineup guys that are under 3K, I think you have to at least take a look. So I do like that Cervelli Freeze grouping.
Yeah, definitely. And Twins, Red Sox, next one here. I mean, Red Sox probably have to come as probably the second offense. I mean, you got to probably rank the Rockies first, but I do even think they beat out the Braves as far as an offense to target tonight. You just look at Tyler Duffy. I mean, he's been hit hard by right-handers, 355 WOBA, 1.60. Home runs per nine going back to last year. So with that being said, I really like Betts, Pedroia, Bogarts, that kind of grouping of 1, 2, 3. And you talked about this as far as Ortiz is just money against any right-hander, regardless of Duffy being a little bit tougher on left-handers.
Yeah, that 1 through 3 though, all under 4K for those righties against Duffy. That's really nice. Again, tough to say the Rockies aren't the top lineup of the night, but I think the Red Sox are really close, even though they're a run apart. I mean, you look at Hanley again, only 29. I love that 4-person stack. Depending on roster construction, you can go with Hanley or Ortiz, but I think they're all in play.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I'm kind of less on Jackie Bradley, Travis Shaw tonight. I kind of like some other options in better spots, like a Valencia in comparison to a Travis Shaw, that type of deal.
Right.
So as far as the Twins bats go, I'm not really in love with them because I think the Sano and Dozier price tags are a little bit higher on here than they were over on DraftKings. So I'm not really a big fan. I'm not really a big fan of the lefties in Fenway. So for me, I think the Twins are just kind of one of those teams I'm not really looking to use tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I think you can go with some one-offs with Nunez, Sano, and Dozier, but that's more of a tournament move than anything else, and you're just really looking for upside there, and it's not really a cash game type of situation.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And Padres and Cardinals, next one here, Adam Wainwright versus Andrew Cashner. And for me, I mean, I use Wainwright every chance I can get. So Padres not really on the table for me there. It's unlike last night where maybe you use some Jaime Garcia, but also use Kemp elsewhere. It just seems like a complete fade.
Yeah, I don't see any potential reasoning to use these Padres here, especially with the Wainwright exposure you should be getting yourself into. So no, fade there. But I do really like this Cardinals side here. Grichuk, Holiday, Adams, Piscotty, all 35 or below. And obviously Diaz is the expensive piece in that lineup, but I do really like him too. So, I mean, I think you go Grichuk, Adams, and then pick your spots with the 3 in the middle there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Piscotty's price is a little bit easier to accommodate here. Same thing with Grichuk. I mean, big difference from DK, and Adams still kind of a value too. So, you're looking at Cashner. You can attack from both sides of the plates, and Cardinals are another team projected for over 5 runs. So I don't mind them as far as working pieces tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers and White Sox here. James Shields versus Mike Pelfrey in U.S. Cellular. Gotta like the prices really here from all formats, I think. I mean, you got like Victor Martinez at 3.5 behind the dish. If you do want to work in that Tiger stack, it's easier to do a 1 through 4 here.
Yeah, absolutely. Very reasonable. James Shields already has that blow up potential against the Tigers this year that we've seen. I think this is a really, really reasonable price for a team projected for 5 runs. And obviously on FanDuel, Martinez is catcher. So I think you can fire away with that 1 through 4 and feel really comfortable. Not necessarily in, I mean, I guess it could be cash if you play Wainwright. If in Wainwright lineups, definitely, I could see that.
Yeah, I could too. And on the other side of things, I mean, you got to like attacking Mike Pelfrey, even with the White Sox offense. I mean, they're projected for 5.5 runs. And you got to like that value. I mean, Eaton, Anderson, Melky Cabrera, all right around 3K or less. And Frazier and Abreu are guys that aren't going to break the bank either. So for me, I love Melky Cabrera coming off a big day yesterday. Decent price tag for him to kind of work in as a third outfield piece. And I really don't mind Anderson or Eaton as well. So for me, I think those 3 are cash game playable, also GPP playable, while I'm leaning more towards Abreu and Frazier and GPPs.
I think we're looking at we're all kind of eyeing that Melky Cabrera price a little bit here. That 2,600 is really nice. So I think you can fit him in even as a one-off if you're not stacking the White Sox.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's probably going to be a guy who does open up a little salary for me, and kind of you just keep plugging him in.
Yep.
Braves Rockies here next, and we'll kind of talk about the Braves real quick. I'm not in love with a lot of their prices.
Freeman's all right, definitely a solid price there. But yeah, other than that, they are projected for 5, but I have a feeling it's going to be an early 5. What? Let's go to the phones.
Is it Laura?
No.
Where's
Where's
Laura?
Laura been?
Has not been in
I
my
don't know.
time.
Yeah.
Someone needs to check on Laura. Laura, if you're out there.
Dude, I might have to give her a call today, see what's going on.
I think so. I mean, this has been about a week and a half where there's been no Laura phone calls. So
Yeah.
truly, I mean, I feel sick and my stomach is just turning, not knowing where Laura is at this moment.
Shut up.
So back to the Braves bats. Freddie Freeman, I'm with you. I like him. I mean, overall, I'm not really intrigued with a lot of these guys at these price tags. I think I'd just rather spin off on some of the other options that we talked about before, and definitely use Rockies.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and as you go over to this Rockies side, we talked about it on DK, or you did at least. Blackman and Gonzalez, really guys. You're looking at if you're looking at Fultinowicz's splits from 2015 to now, really weak against lefties. So that's kind of your target for cash. Arenado obviously always in play, but 49 is tough to sort of grind into a lineup,
He definitely is. I mean, and at that point, do you feel comfortable kind of fading at that price tag and using a Valencia or using a Castellanos or, whoever's else at third base tonight? I mean, you could look kind of a range of different options.
It's tough, but at the same time, if you get Blackman and Cargo in there, it kind of insulates you a little bit. And I mean, the worst case scenario is Arenado gets a 2 home run game and then you're just smoked. But I don't think that's the most likely range of outcomes, So if he does get that 1 homer and Valencia gets, a double, a run, and an RBI, you pretty much saved yourself. So I don't mind that type of move.
I'm definitely agreeing. I think you look at Arenado and Todd Frazier. Whoa. And you kind of look at Frazier and Valencia. I mean, you got a wide range of options. Valencia 2,800, Frazier 37, Arenado 49. So I think regardless of what tier you come in, there's 3 guys that you can use, and they're all different prices, and that's going to be the 3 that I use, and pretty much nobody else.
Right, and obviously we're not saying fade Arenado altogether. He's a great play, but it's just at that price, I think it makes some other lower options reasonable.
Yep, I definitely agree. So I'm looking to use the outfielders more so than anyone here.
Mm-hmm.
Rays and A's here, Sonny Gray versus Matt Moore. I'm not really in love with the Rays prices. They're very similar to a White Sox team. They're very similar to a Red Sox when you look at Pedroia and Longoria and Bogarts. So I'm not really on it. I don't like the Longoria price tag. So for me, I'm looking to use A's and probably for the most part completely fade Tampa.
Yeah, I'm not looking too hard at Tampa. We talk about Forsythe at on DK, but he's priced up even a little more expensive on here from site to site. So it's not great. Again, Gray does have blow up potential, but park factors aren't really in their favor, and it's just kind of a wishy-washy matchup. So I think we're looking more at the A's here. As you mentioned, Danny Valencia, 2,800. 2,100 off of A's price. That's just a huge difference. I think I'm targeting a lot of righties in this lineup. And I mean, with this FanDuel pricing, Valencia, Davis, Semien, I like all 3 of those. So I think you can put all the 3 of those in a tournament lineup and come out with a pretty decent result there.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you look at Moore, 343 WOBA allowed to right-handers, 1.45 runs per 9. So yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Semien, Valencia, Davis. I mean, even a Jake Smolinski as a play in the outfield, I don't mind at 2,400. So I do think the A's has some solid value there, and a lot of those guys, I mean, Valencia and Davis. I mean, we talked about the park factor. Semien too, they've hit home runs at home. The ISO numbers aren't bad. They're not tremendously home and away where they're completely off the table at home. So I like them quite a bit tonight.
Right. Definitely.
So that's going to wrap things up here with the FanDuel Punch Out. Be sure to check out dailyfantasycafe.com for all great tools and content.